is Thomas. This is the newest episode of the KAAMP, that is the Knoxville Area Artist Network and Platform podcast thing. And today we're here with a friend of a friend who did things backwards on me, was a kind stranger that reached out to me via the interwebs instead of me being the stranger reaching out to folks on the interwebs. It's a nice reversal of the way things normally go. But as in kind, I reacted well to the stranger on the internet, and here they are. Please introduce yourselves.
Hey, what's up? I'm Paisley. I'm a local singer-songwriter here in Knoxville. Also an independent artist.
There you go. So since we're right here at the top of this conversation, tell people where to find you and all that jazz on the old internet.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can go online, of course, Google me, and usually that pops everything up. That's what I tell people to do.
But you have a unique name, so it works out.
Exactly. But you can always go to my website at piperpaisley.com. Right now, my website is getting redone, so that's been a long-term goal for me right there, is getting the EPK done and getting everything updated with the whole new music drop and everything. But you can go on Facebook. That's where that's where my personality shows.
Oh, okay.
That's where, the crazy videos are at. All the crazy covers are at. On Facebook, I tell people is if you follow me on Facebook, I'm going to tell you where I'm at that week.
Yeah.
But if you go online, if you go on my website, that's where all my shows are at throughout the year.
Right. So it's a bigger schedule.
Yes.
On your website.
So I'm working on the TikToks. I'm working on, the X platform, the Instagram, and
it's safe to dead name it Twitter.
So much.
We can call it Twitter here. It's fine.
And everybody's like, "Oh, it's so true. You got to have a strategy with this, and you have to upload every day and do this content." I'm like, there's only so much time in the day.
I'm just trying to show people that I like to have fun and make music.
I know, right?
There's only so much you can put a ton of effort into.
I'm
picking vinyl off of me from work. My bad.
You're good. Yeah, I mean, it's challenging because when you work full time, it's like sometimes you just want to breathe.
Yeah, that's why we're
at the end of the week.
That's why we're in the super secret studio outside of normal business hours.
I feel that. Yeah.
Yeah, but work all week and then you go gigging. And you said you were on vocal rest this week, right?
Yeah, the week before I had 4 straight. This past week I had 5. But East Tennessee weather came through on Sunday, and it unfortunately got canceled. But I was kind of relieved in a way because I was tanked out.
So that's a small luxury.
Yeah, exactly.
In some ways.
Yeah. So
what kind of music do you make?
I'm mainly a country girl, with a twist of a little bluegrass.
Uh-oh.
But, I love me some country. I was raised on country music. 96.9 was the only channel that was in our cars growing up. So I grew up in Virginia.
Yeah.
Obviously. So, WXBQ, what we call the country station back home, was the only thing that we listened to. And I was raised on gospel. Those are 2 things.
Do you have a favorite radio DJ on that station?
I cannot. I did love, though. I loved on Saturday nights, they had a request and dedication show.
Uh-oh.
And I loved it. It started at 7. It would roll all the way through to 11 o'clock at night. And it was so funny. We used to just, back home, sometimes we'd get together on Saturday nights and have a bonfire. And we would just sit and listen to the radio show.
Yeah.
And it was so funny. People would just call in and be like, "Hey, this is where we're at. We want to hear this song right here." And I said, man, I wish WIVK kind of did something like that down here.
That'd be fun. But
I know,
you'd get all the ridiculous things, though. Like, we're up here at the Bluffs. We want to hear "Throw Some Rocks Off This Cliff." Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, I've always said that.
So who are some of we'll get the, boring regimented questions off the top. Musical influences. Who do you like to sound like or write like, or, in that vein?
To be honest, I try not to be like a lot of people. I try
like
authentic self, is what
that was a weird way to ask that question.
But as a little girl, the Judds that was my go-to.
Yeah.
That was my first obsession, was Winona.
They had a really unique spot in country music in the first place, being a family band and all that.
Yeah. Yeah, she was the one I loved. Like, I couldn't get enough Judd's tapes. It was constantly. Rewind. stop, fast forward. You know how it was, tape players or whatever. But there's a lot of Randy Travis, Alabama.
Look, Randy Travis is my hero, 100%, because he's done things that don't involve music that just inspire me to be a better man. Like I've never shown up at my ex-wife's church service wanting to fight her boyfriend drunk from the night before. So that's just, I don't know how much more country you can get than that. And I know that's
George Jones, right?
Right. Like you got to drive the lawnmower to a liquor store, but that's top tier countryness right there in my book. So Randy Travis always has a special place in my country loving heart.
That's the reason I've always said, a lot of people will be like, well, why don't you, go try out for The Voice, or you go try out for American Idol? I'm like, I want to.
That's way less fun. That's way less fun than what I'm doing.
Yeah, I think each step is important, if that makes any sense. And I think that's where songs are written from.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? From the bars.
Yeah, from the progress and the uncomfortability and just doing the whole thing.
Exactly. So I think it might be a slower progression, but I think it's important.
I mean, you can't write those good love 'em and leave 'em songs if you ain't out there loving and leaving, right?
Exactly.
You just can't. It's not how it works.
Yeah, one of the songs actually that's on my EP is written from a situation that happened back earlier in the year. And it, to the point when I got home, I was still fuming from it, that I wrote a song like that. It was that quick.
The juices were flowing.
Yeah. So I ended up switching it out when I was in the studio. I was like, hey, I know I got this song projected to do, but I think we should go with this one here.
This one might fit better.
Exactly. Yeah. So.
Is it a love 'em and leave 'em song?
No, it's more of a pissed off I'm mad song.
Oh.
It's one of those songs. Yeah.
So that's like, you get home or you play that one in the car on the way to the house.
Yeah.
Like that's the one.
Exactly.
Excellent.
Exactly.
So what other tones of music can we expect on this EP? Let's dive into that. Like what other kind of songs you got on there? Do you want to tell people the name of it?
So it's going to be, I was going to do an album and I drew myself back. So I'm like, who's really doing an album these days besides your bigger artist? Morgan Wallen, who puts out 36 songs on a major album. But I think only your big dogs are doing that. So I was like, I think I should probably dial it back. Not overextend.
Right.
And just concentrate on the best that I can put out right now and what I've written, which came down to 5 songs. So it's a little country and it's a little bluegrass and it's a little country rock. But the first song on it is going to be Another Lonely Town. And it's just about a heartbreak song where somebody's got their heart broke. They leave town. They try to run from it. Those people. Let's go get a new chapter.
Yep.
And they just can't run from it.
Nope.
And they just wind up going home. Somewhere down the line, everybody needs mom.
True that.
And so that's kind of what that song's about. The second song is Love and Crown. I call it Another Lonely Town. It's got a guitar riff that Travis Wyrick is the one that produced it out of Lakeside Studios. And he put a riff in there. It sounds just like Bryan Adams. Oh shoot, what's that song?
No,
off of Robin Hood. Help me out.
You got me. Like no, I'm not gonna know it. I promise.
Everything I do for you. So you remember that?
That was on the radio the other day. That was performed by the Navy band too on the Robin Hood soundtrack. The Navy band did that. Yeah. It was pretty wild.
One of my favorite songs, right? So it's got that guitar riff at the end, and he's kind of got something in that. And I was like, oh, that's my Bryan Adams song. So I kind of nicknamed it that.
Yeah, that's fair.
So the second one is Love and Crown. And I call that my little Sugarland song because it's upbeat. It's got a little groove to it. And I was just kind of sitting on the porch reminiscing one day about, man, it would be nice just to be back in school. And all I had to do is worry about
getting to school on time and having gas money. Yeah.
Exactly. And worry about what I'm doing on the weekend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's all I had to worry about.
Simpler times.
Yeah. So it was just about being around people, and as kids, like, somewhere down the line, alcohol was involved because you always had that friend or that older brother or something.
It comes from somewhere. And
it was always there. So it's just about being around people you love and a little bit of alcohol and just having a good time. Basically, that's what that one's about.
So that was the party song.
Yeah, kind of. My godson, he talked about going up to that place in North Carolina, and he watched that sunset come up. Oh shoot, they got it shut down now. what is it called? It was on the tip of my tongue.
Is it Max Patch?
Max Patch, yes.
Shut down now?
I think they shut down because people got up there and started littering.
All right, well, I'm gonna have to break this for this. Yeah, I'm gonna Google it. Please continue though.
Still go visit, but I don't think you can do like no overnights or like camping or. Don't hold me to that. You know, that's just how rumors go.
Yeah. Yeah, it's closed overnight now.
One for me. Closed
overnight. That makes me so sad because I really wanted to like stay the night there sometime.
Yeah. That's on my bucket list still. This Max Patch.
It's a gorgeous spot. I've been there before.
Yeah, that's definitely there. But the third song is my little bluegrass song. It's kind of like that Dixie Chicks Long Time Gone.
Yeah.
But it's called Your Memory Hangs On. So, and that's just about somebody who can't get over this guy. He's married. She's cheated. He just can't get over her. So that's kind of what that song's about, just a little bit. But that's got a little bit of my bluegrass roots into it.
That one's a little more twang.
Country, a little bluegrass, yeah. He's got that little good acoustic vibe in it. That doghouse bass kicks in about the mid-tier of the song. So
nice.
It's got a good little groove to it. I could hear it on WDVX. You know what I mean? I can envision that right now.
Well, chase down that blue plate special and see what happens.
You know what? That's on my list, buddy. That long list.
Yeah, that long list of things you want to do.
Yeah, that long list.
So are all those things in Knoxville? Does Knoxville treat you pretty well as a creative person living here, doing creative things here?
Oh, it's unreal. And I'm just tapping into it. You know what I mean? I've lived here since 2012, but I didn't start this whole back into music and gigging until May 3rd of last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I got let me want to reel it back a little bit.
All right, let's go.
So music, I've been in music all my life. And
okay, good. I won't have to ask that one. Please continue.
Yeah. So, this is what I'm doing now is a dream of mine. And I was born into a musical family. Predominantly my mother's side. My mother's real musical. And it was all about music growing up. That was my first passion.
Yeah.
But I kept it hid because I was shy and bashful.
Oh no! So
I was into sports a lot. So that a lot of people knew me for playing sports growing up. And but there was always that want to inside of me.
Yeah. And you just knew it. That like music is a thing you were into.
My first song with my cousin. One night when we were hanging out, and we went into the kitchen where my parents were at, and his parents, they always sat at the table and drank coffee and talked. And it was called Shine Moonlight, and we were so embarrassed. I don't know why. We had a verse and a chorus, and we even turned our backs, and I played the guitar, and we both sung it to him, and then we ran back into the bedroom real quick. But it was always instilled in me. Got out of high school, really didn't have much direction, what I really wanted to do. Got married young and all that good stuff. But I remember working at Eastman Chemical, and just every day, like, I can't wait to get home.
Yeah.
Do music. Record.
Yeah, something.
Something.
Anything that isn't this that's part of that. Yeah.
Exactly. And I always thought, man, I could be in Nashville in no time. I could drive down there. I always had that something ticking in me.
Yeah.
Entered a bunch of song contests and all that good stuff. And then in the midst of all that, my sister-in-law, she went to a Methodist church back home, and it was their homecoming. So if you know anything about churches and homecoming, there's two things, right? Music and food.
Mm-hmm.
And their little Methodist church didn't have many people there. I mean, hardly nobody, right? I'd went to it before with them. And she's like, well, maybe they couldn't get anybody to sing that Sunday. And
because everybody was singing at their Baptist church.
Yeah, exactly. So she was like, let's just get together and maybe do a few songs. No big deal. Nobody, nobody's really not going to be there. So she played the bass. Her dad was a guitar player. I'm a banjo picker too, and I played the banjo. And then my cousins played with us, and we learned us a bunch of gospel songs. And that morning, it was standing room only in that Methodist church.
They said they weren't going to be a whole lot of people there.
Oh God, I know I sounded like Stevie Nicks. I was so nervous. I could barely roll my fingers on the banjo. But after that day, it took off.
Yeah.
And
the irony in that is pretty intense.
Yeah.
Like,
so we did that for 7 years. We traveled and we went from church to church and sung in all denominations. And my career kind of stalled up in East Tennessee, so I moved to Knoxville to continue my career and put music down for a while. And then last year, I set a list up for myself is what I done. Okay, I need this and I need this and this.
Was it in your phone?
Was it in my phone?
Yeah, was the list in your phone?
It wasn't in my phone, but it was in my head. I knew enough to know what I needed to get out. But
Okay.
you know how you procrastinate, right?
Oh, it's the worst.
I need this. Until I get that, I really can't go. So I got me a little PA. I got to practice in my little office back home. And I said, well, I need me some business cards too. I wanted those. And I said, okay, I got everything. I backed myself in a corner. I said, it's do or die.
Yeah.
Either I'm going to do this or I'm going to keep putting it off and I'm going to regret it. Highly regret it one day.
Yeah, for sure.
So I started going out. I said, I'm going to go out and shake hands and meet people and physically start, making connections and, getting connections and relationships and networking. I was so nervous and anxious. Let me tell you, I was torn. I was scared and I had that fear and anxiety in me.
But it was exciting.
The other side was like, oh no, you're doing it.
Yeah.
So I did that and I didn't hear anything for a while. I was like, okay. Because everybody's like, we're booked.
Yeah.
I said, I was about to accept. Well, everybody's booked. So my Kia had went down on me and I had to go to Callahan Drive to pick up. I had left some keys on a ring.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, well, I'm going to go down here to Asia Cafe. I know they got live music, but it's worth a shot.
Yeah.
I walk in.
Seen a lot of live music there, actually.
Yeah. Just happened the bar manager was there. And we got to talk, and he said, yeah, we're looking for somebody on Wednesday. My heart dropped. I'm like, oh.
And you said, oh shit.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, okay. He said, well, you want to come in this Wednesday? I was like, no.
What were you there? Like,
he said, well, you want to look at the calendar? I said, yes. We should do that. So
put me on the spot right now. No.
It's the middle of April. And he said, I said, let's do it 2 weeks out. Give me time to prep for 3 hours here.
Yeah.
So May 3rd was my first one.
Yeah.
And I had a bunch of people from work come and all that good stuff. I was so nervous. But.
Well, Asia Cafe is a good spot to break that in, I guess.
Yeah.
It's usually a pretty friendly crowd.
It was an audition. I found that out at the end of it. He said, you passed. I said, oh, thank God. And he said, if you want every Wednesday, you got it. And I did that. And about the middle of May, everything started pouring in.
Yeah.
So I'm highly blessed. I did over 150 shows as of May of last year.
Dang. All right.
And yeah, I was like, here we go.
So still got the day job though, right?
Still got the day job.
Yeah, gotta hang on to that for a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That does freak me out to think that I would quit the security of my job right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's no way.
I've pondered on that little tipping point a lot. And it's a very scary and exciting thing to think about.
I know there, I got a couple of friends that do it full time. Kudos to them. Kudos to them.
Yeah, right.
I'm just not there yet.
The worry about when the phone is going to ring is something that just like tears me up more than it should.
Yeah.
So I'm still dealing with that.
Well, yeah. It's the unknown. You know what I mean? I've had people call and you think you're booked. You hold a spot for 6 months and they'll call the week before. Hey, something's come up. We're going to have to cancel for next week. And we've had, a water leak or whatever it may be. Oh, no problem. But, if you were doing it full time, I could see, that would hurt. If, bills don't stop. It doesn't matter.
Oh, hell no.
But, you could be that person that don't have bills. So there's that too.
How's that work?
I don't know. I ain't figured it out yet.
I ain't either. I haven't seen a good example of that. I mean, maybe it was when I was 12, but like lately, no way.
I feel you on that.
So how are you in your songwriting journey? Is that something you're sort of exploring yourself with? Is that just a fun thing? How serious do you take it?
When I was in my 20s, I used to think that I needed to write every day. And I would that'd be the key word, I forced myself to write. And I feel like when I done that, I just thought, well, it just don't make sense. It didn't really come from feeling, you know what I mean? It just come from making myself write some stuff down. So I put it down for a while, and about 2 years ago, I started going to, actually 2016 is when I first went, was the Knoxville Singer-Songwriters Association.
Yeah.
They meet every Tuesday out at the Fountain City Library. I think 5:30 from 6 is like a jam. You could go play your guitar, sing. They do a bunch of covers and all that good stuff. And then the meeting takes off at 6:30. And I mean, it's like it's kind of like Planet Fitness. It's that judge-free zone where you can just bring your stuff in and just, you can read it, or you can have it pre-recorded. Give everybody a copy of it and be like, and everybody like, they'll critique it. And you can take or leave it.
Yeah.
You know, you can be like, oh, that works. That works in my song. I should change that.
So you found a good spot to bounce your ideas around in.
Absolutely. I went for a little while in 2016, and life happened, and I didn't get to go. I went back to school is what happened. And my classes fell on Tuesday nights.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So once school finished up, got the bachelor, got the master, and all that's done, I went back and started doing that a while, and met actually one of my songs that is co-written on here, Love and Crown, is with Michael Waddle he's a great singer, songwriter out of the KSA.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of great people that come there.
Knoxville's dense with talent. Very, very dense.
You know, I think it's safe to say you call it Little Nashville.
Wow.
I mean, there's different kinds of music, don't get me wrong, but man, the talent in this town is unreal.
Yeah, there's a lot and all different kinds of things.
Unreal.
I mean, from my point of view, I don't just talk to musicians. I talk to damn near anybody. So I get the pleasure of, picking a lot of brains and all kinds of different creative outlets. So it's pretty neat.
I'll say the other thing too is everybody has been so helpful.
Yeah.
So willing to help me and give advice. And I made great friends in such a short time. So, shout out to people like Steph.
Funny how trying to be your authentic self kind of makes that happen sometimes.
It's very true. Yeah.
But yeah, shout out Steph. She's a goober.
Yeah. She's not skipped a beat. Alicia Harvey, we become good friends, not skipped a beat and helping me. She's another country artist here in town. Sean Abbott hasn't skipped a beat helping me. And I know I'm missing a lot of people, but people's been so willing, and I think that's what makes the community full of local musicians pretty cool.
So should I get on those people's tails and tell them to come talk? Because usually one of the things I ask folks towards the end of the program is like, hey, who are some people I should talk to in your opinion? And you just lifted off a couple of people. So I think that answers that question.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I wish I could get out and see them more.
Yeah.
That's the thing because we're booked on the same nights.
Yeah, of course.
Unless we have something crazy, like I said, a cancellation come through or something that we can go see one another. But yeah.
So I'm going to put you on the spot. You got a favorite room around town?
Oh. That's one of my favorite places I played is Schultzbrow.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Were you outside on the stage?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I was.
That's a good courtyard. I like the beer garden a lot.
I want to go back with a band and do it.
Yeah.
That's my big adventure after this release right here is when I get these 5 singles dropped, because I want to do like the waterfall effect.
Yeah.
Where you every 6 or 8 weeks, building a song, dropping it, building a song, dropping it. And at the end, I'm going to drop the full EP, but I want to do it with a band.
Yeah.
That's my vision and my goal. I want to do it.
So you're going to rope some other crazy folks into your crazy dream and
I gotta
play some music.
My sights.
There you go. You got a timeline for that?
Well, it's probably going to be fall. So 5 songs, 6 to 8 weeks out. It's going to probably push me.
So we should loosely expect to see you with 3 other people.
Well, the couple of guys I'm eyeing at, and I'm eyeing them because their dad goes to the Singer-Songwriter Association.
So they don't even know it.
And he's a heck of a guitar player. So his boys, one's a drummer and one's a lead guitarist, and they're awesome and they can sing.
Yeah, there you go.
Amazing. So
plug them in.
Yeah, exactly. and it's right up my alley. They got an old soul, just like I got an old soul. I like to mix some old country into with my new country, and and throw some 70s, 80s, something off the wall to keep
Yeah.
everybody engaged.
There you go. So what does the notepad in your phone look like? This is the reason I asked if the list was in your phone.
It's not. I'm a writer down girl.
So there's no like chaos in your notes app. It's all literal physical
Yep,
notes.
physical notes. Yeah, I'm one of those. I want to see it physically. Yeah, either in a what I have is a my booking book per se is like a law of attraction book,
Mm-hmm.
and I ordered it for a reason because you could put a visualization board in that book. So that's something I carry with me every day. I carry it into my work. Carry it out of my work. It's with me. I look at it every morning. I read it every morning. It's got a bunch of notes and personal stuff in it. Not only do I book in it, but I keep stuff like that in it.
You journal in it a little bit.
What? Yeah, exactly. Keeps me on.
That's a good spot for it.
Exactly. Keeps my long-term goals, my short-term goals. Okay, this is the strategy here. This is what Aaron Carter is another one you need to interview. Just FYI, he's helped me out a lot too. Had just
Okay.
of mine. But yeah, that book stays with me.
So it's not chaos.
No, I'm a Virgo, buddy.
So it is chaos.
It's in my head, but you know how Virgos go, right? I have to see it, and I have to be organized. I have to have a plan.
That particular question has probably become one of my favorites lately because you never know what somebody's going to say about that.
Yeah.
I think you're the first person that I've asked that has said, no, I write everything down.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Most people say, oh, shit, it's chaos. And then other people are like, no, it's really orderly. I have a bunch of lists. It's fine. Everything's neat.
Well, we're going to call it organized chaos.
Okay, we can run with that for sure.
Absolutely.
Organized chaos it is. In literal physical form.
Yes, it is.
So, to give me a sense of scale, like how big is this book?
It's probably regular size.
So it's like
it's in the truck down there.
Like a sheet of paper size, or a little smaller?
It's like a regular Bible.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about that size, right?
Gotcha.
Good old Amazon buy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I said, it's like a law of attraction because I'm one of those. I believe if you see it in your head, you can hold it in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of those type people. Like whatever you feed yourself is what you're going to get. You feed positivity, that's what you're going to get. If you feed negativity, that's what you're going to get too.
Well, I mean, I try to make things I've never seen before, so I totally understand that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I try to remind myself. That's the reason I read that book every day. I try to remind myself, just stay focused on what you want.
Do you have any like moments of zen or like time where your brain shuts up or peaceful time in your creative process?
Yeah, I try to do that every morning.
Yeah.
What you'd say, meditate?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a couple of people I watch on YouTube. I know you're going to ask me who is it. I can see their faces, but I try to find the I am affirmations or, just people leading you through like a meditation where you concentrate on your breathing, concentrate on, just on that visualization board. Not only do I have that book, but I have it up in my office.
Okay.
A piece of paper that I printed with everything that I wanted on it this year. So sometimes when I get off track, I can just look to my left. I'm like, okay, that's where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
That's my focus.
Working on these things.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's super handy visual reminder.
Yeah.
Is it a copy of what's in the book?
Mm-hmm.
Like a photocopy of the thing?
Is.
You just blew up a photocopy? Yep. Excellent. Yep. It's not a second version of a physical thing. It's a picture of the physical thing.
Exactly.
So it's like you're looking at your book.
Yep.
Excellent.
Yep.
I'd say that is most impactful.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe it. And I think that's the biggest part. I think you got to believe. You got to believe in yourself. And because I see before I started going out gigging, and like I told you, I was scared. I was kind of anxious. I thought, man, I don't know if I can do this. But I started looking at other people that was doing things around town. I thought, wait a minute, I can do this.
It's like other people are doing it. I can do something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that helps build my confidence too. So I just try to surround myself with the good stuff.
Yeah, fair. 100%.
No.
What events do you have coming up So let me think about this. What time frame is this gonna be listenable?
You talking about my EP?
Yeah, when's the EP coming out? When are the shows around the EP? I'm trying to figure out when this particular episode was going to get posted. This particular episode get posted around the end of June.
Okay.
So if you've got things around then, tell the folks about it if you don't mind.
So the EP right now, looking at it, I've got the first single, which I've decided Hillbilly Drunkard is going to be. Yeah.
I love
That's
it.
what I'm talking about. That's the song I was talking about I wrote in a matter of minutes.
Okay.
July 19th. That's a Friday. It's the third week in July. And I think from now to then, that gives me about 5 weeks to really push and promote, get a bunch of content out, get a lyric video, get an actual video out. There's a lot that I want to do. Again, I'm still figuring out, and that's learning from others that's done it before me around town. Okay, there's a strategy, Piper. Like, you need to just pump your brakes a minute. Let's be sure we do this first.
Yeah.
Let's get it on the platforms and all that good stuff. Then we can do XYZ. So it's a lot, and I'm learning. This is my first go around, so.
Well, you've not released anything, period, at all before this?
This is a first. Like, this is kind of surreal to me. This is the little girl in me saying, yes, like,
I did it.
It's a big race one for me. I know it's probably for everybody else. Probably like, okay, yeah. It's just another song being dropped, but for me, it's a milestone.
Right. Yeah, for sure, absolutely. Yeah. So, you said July 19th.
July 19th.
Okay, and that's the dropping of the first single?
Yeah, that's the Hillbilly Drunkard.
And then every 6 to 8 weeks or so, you said after that, you're going to release another single.
Another one.
Until you've released all 5 of them?
Yep.
Okay. So, are you going to do any shows performing the whole thing?
I haven't decided on it. Now, when I drop the full EP, that's going to be a yes. Without giving anything else out, I probably can't do that. Now, leading up to Hillbilly Drunkard, I'd say yes. I'll sing that to promote it.
Yeah.
So, but the others, I probably won't.
Just going to keep those close to the chest.
I believe I will.
There you go.
I may hint with a little content every now and then.
Well, speaking of hints at things, did you bring that jump drive so I could splice that into this episode? Or if you didn't, you can email it
on my phone.
Okay, yeah, you can forward it to my email address.
Yeah.
So we'll put 15, 20 seconds of that somewhere in here.
I got it etched out right here. It's like I think 20 seconds, something like that.
Did you pick a time spot? Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll put that right here.
Those blues will sneak up without a warning. Your cheating ways are still with me now. Wished I could let you go, darling, but your memory's all to be for now.
Right, yeah, right here, and then it'll play.
Just a hint of what's coming, but that's a little bit of the country rock song. That
you told me that the other day. You're like, I'm going to bring you the thing so you can put it in the thing, and I was just like, oh, that's a great idea. I've had people set their stuff up like right here in the living room and record live on this setup, so that's been fun too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to be. What's the other podcast? I'm going blank. Knox Brew Stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to be on that in July, and I think I have to do, because that's live.
Yeah.
And I'll be performing 3 of those songs.
That's a Merchants of Beer, right?
We'll get a little bit of a hint. I'll see what I can't work out with them, but I might just sing a little bit without giving the whole song away to kind of, we'll see. I'll talk to them about it.
You give them a spicy cover in between and work the set out a little bit.
I'm probably just going to do the bridge in this one, I'm probably, just going to verse in this one without giving everything away, so.
Yeah, just tease it a little bit.
Exactly.
Create some mystery, some prestige.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, who has, outside of your family, have you had any really important musical friends, mentors, compatriots, partners in crime? People you like to blame things on?
I mean, I've had a lot of people come and go in my life that were musicians.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty normal.
Yeah, that's normal. But I think when I was learning to play the banjo, and I lived back in I know we're in East Tennessee, but further back east, when I lived in Gray, I used to go on Tuesday nights up to Bristol, Virginia, and it was an old farmhouse.
Mm-hmm.
And on Tuesdays, a bunch of old timers would meet, and everybody would bring a dish, and everybody would sit in that living room. And I'm talking, you're probably looking at like 20 people.
Yeah.
And banjos, mandolins, guitars, and basses. And we just play music. And that's where I learned, because I learned through ear.
Yeah.
I can't read music. I always learn just, let me see you do it. I'm sitting there watching you.
Yeah.
I see what you're doing. I can do it. You know what I mean? And that's how I learned a lot of my banjo and stuff, was playing with people like that.
So other than banjo, do you play anything else?
I can play guitar, of course. I can pick around on the bass. Play auto harp. I'm one of those. I'm a what's the old Tommy saying? I'm a
Jack of all trades, master of none.
You hit the nail on the head.
Okay.
You hit the nail on the head. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it all. I always said it probably wouldn't do for me to have a lot of money, because my house would probably look
Be
like
filled with instruments, yeah.
it looked like Guitar Center, and that's not an
Well,
exaggeration.
there are worse things to have the inside of your house look like, so I don't think that's
See,
a bad
that's the
thing.
thing. I'm not one of those women where like what we call them back home is whatnots, where oh, I bought this little trinket.
Mhm.
I'm like, no, I want a guitar there and hanging on this wall here. Put me a drum set in a corner. Give me somewhere to record. I'm one of those.
Well, I mean, having all your tools is never a bad thing.
No, it's not.
I mean, hell, that's why half of my tools are strewn out across the studio here.
I see that.
Yeah, like there's paint on the ottoman, there's paint in the floor over there, there's an easel, there's shit everywhere.
That's good though, because when you want to do it, it's accessible.
Yeah, it's right there and over there and
Exactly.
on the other end of the house and right here behind me. Like,
Yeah.
it's everywhere. Yeah, I live in it. So I can't hold it against you for wanting to live in it either.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Absolutely not.
Well, that's how you should practice, right?
Well,
You get better at basketball. You practice on a basketball court,
Right.
right?
it's one of those things. I was talking about this the other day. Carl Gombert told me, he said that you can be in your studio anytime you want, really. Your studio doesn't always have to be a literal place that you have to physically be. It could just be the way you think about making your art or making your music or whatever. Your studio can travel with you if you want to employ that headspace. So, I could sit right here or in the airport or in the Uber car and still be in the studio. Just
That's true.
depends on how you think about it.
Yeah, it's perception, right?
Yeah, I mean, just because I'm not sitting with a tray of paints in front of me doesn't mean I can't think about something I want to paint or a picture I want to craft or something I want to say.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I do that with like songs sometimes. Like, I think I went to bed the other night and I had a couple verses come to mind. I thought, well, I really need to open my phone and put that down.
did you? Please tell me you did.
I didn't.
Ah,
I tried to remember it.
and they're gone forever now, right?
Yeah. A little bit the next morning, but I do have an app in my phone that I use to help write some music and stuff.
Into the ether it went.
Mhm.
That idea
Yeah.
is lost to the consciousness of half asleep. Yep. I hate when that happens too, because the desire to roll over and do the thing and like make the note
Yeah.
is always just slightly edged out by but I'm really comfy and I'm almost asleep.
Yeah. Well, my mind was like, well, I got to pick my phone up. I got to put the code in. I got to scroll and find the app.
Yeah, all the obstacles.
Yeah. All the excuses I could find not to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, you logic your way out of it and you're just like, yeah, sleep.
I will say that's what I want to do is I want to, in between all this music drop and the band is I really do want to work on the songwriting.
Yeah.
I want to, and me and Alicia's talked about this. We need to get together and write. I'm like, yeah, we do. That's the only way we're going to get better.
Right.
Is the more writing that we do. So that's definitely on my list of to-dos right there.
Well, other than playing the music, that's the other half of it, right? If we're splitting this down the middle, playing and creating.
Yeah.
That's the other part of this coin.
That's the only way you're going to make another record too.
Yeah, you got to write some music.
Original content.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I need to get with Steph on that too. I know Steph's a big writer too.
Yeah, last time okay, so the last conversation didn't get too terribly serious, but the first conversation we had was a more genuine, in-depth conversation about where she was at artistically with her songwriting. So we touched base a little bit on the one that I'm going to publish on the 8th. So by the time you hear this, it'll be me talking about the future from the past twice. But she said she's forced herself into situations where she has to flex that muscle. So she went to like a songwriting camp or something and put herself in places where that was the intention. And she's been doing that really hard, and proud of the efforts contained within. So the awkward uncomfortability of flexing that muscle is definitely something I think everybody should take some time and effort and create for themselves, whatever that muscle is. But in this case, we're talking about songwriting.
Yeah. Yeah, again, that's a double-edged sword because I said before, I was like, if I go to try to force something, if I'm not feeling something. But I'm also one of those writers, too. Like, Hillbilly Drunkard came easy because it happened to me. It happened to me that night. But some of these songs never happen. So I can write from a fictional and a non-fictional side. But it has to come to me still.
Right.
But I think I could feed, like if me and you were songwriting, I could feed off your idea. Like, oh, I feel what you're like. Yeah, let's write that down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I want to experience more of that with other
more collaboration.
Yes.
Yeah, that's I feel as if like the 20% of the time when it's just like I ain't really feeling it, but I want to do something, it would be so much easier to do the thing if I had a collaborator.
Yeah, and I think that stems a lot from where I played all kinds of sports growing up.
Oh yeah, you're used to the team effort,
exactly.
Communication, silent or verbal, back and forth rapidly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or for somebody to be like, "Oh no, Popper, that sucks. We shouldn't put that there. Like we should take that word out.
Yeah,
I don't understand what you mean there, so we should maybe fix that." So.
But yeah, the objectiveness of it too really helps. Because you say some shit and it sounds great, but then it hits somebody else's ears, they're just like,
yeah,
you know. So that having that confidence in your collaborator, your teammates, good too.
Well, maybe sometimes even when you're trying to put the melody with something, if you just tweak your melody, oh, that fits now. Now that sounds okay. So we'll see what this year holds.
Well, I think you should definitely put yourself in some places to exercise that, because that might be just the life experience you need to write EP number 2.
Yes.
My work is similar in a way that, like, if nothing particularly exciting happens or I don't like live a whole lot, you know, like stuff I make gets kind of boring because there's just like there's a seal that is broken or a threshold crossed where it's just like the life experience I've had lately has bubbled up enough to make a thing happen in my brain where I'm just like, I need to paint this.
I love it.
Yeah, so that definitely happens.
That's so cool. My aunt, she has dove back into painting, but she does more of the, the houses and the trees,
landscape and architecture and all that.
Like Bob Ross.
Yeah,
she likes to do the Bob Ross stuff, but she does really good at it.
And who doesn't like happy trees? Yeah, I mean that. I've done some of that work. It's really fun. It's very meditative, just in general, painting a fictional scene of some peaceful ass place. It's great. I used
to do that as a kid. Like I'd watch him. Like really.
Oh, I'm a grown ass 32-year-old man or 33-year-old man now, and I turn on Bob Ross on YouTube and go to sleep on that couch. Like
he would inspire me enough. I'd get the paint out at the house as a kid. And I try to do what he's like. I'm really bad at this. Like, you try to do, you talk to your mountains. And
that'd be me with some watercolor while he's using oils on TV.
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
I thought, this ain't working.
Something's different here.
Exactly.
He also is real slick when he tells you that the canvas is with a base coat of liquid white or whatever. So that, like if you don't see that at the top of the program, the whole thing's different.
Yeah, he's classic though.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know anybody else that runs around with a paintbrush, an afro, and a squirrel in their pocket. Like, that's primo artist life for me. Like, I cannot have the afro, but I could have a squirrel. Like, let's see maybe one day I'll have a pet squirrel just in my pocket.
You should do it.
I mean, I don't think people would be the most surprised. I feel like people have wackier expectations out of me than a pocket squirrel.
Oh my goodness.
But that's only a positive statement. Like there's
Oh, absolutely.
that's just a fun thing about me.
Love it.
So how do you feel about this EP? Are you really confident? Like you're putting out a solid effort all the way around in this thing?
Well, it was my first time in a long time in the studio. The only other time that I was, I've done radio in my early 20s with the family. And then we cut a record as a bluegrass gospel group. So, I mean, that's being in, again, my early 20s.
Yeah.
But this is my stuff. You know, this is my lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
Was I nervous going into the studio? Oh, you can bet I was. And again, I'm a Virgo. So there's nobody that's harder on myself than me. I can promise you that. So I got high expectations right off the cuff for myself. The hardest part in the studio, and Travis could probably contest to it, is making myself vulnerable.
Oh yeah.
Letting go. You know, getting that shield per se away and just breaking down and just being vulnerable and sing the song that way. Like Tattoo, which is just a very emotional song. It's about domestic abuse. My partner, she went through 16 years of it. And the only thing good that come out of it was her 3 kids.
Yeah.
And that's what that song's about. When you hear it, it is emotional. But it's a little bit upbeat in the middle of it. It's got some drums added to it a little bit. It's kind of got a little bluegrass, a little riff to it. But I think for my first EP, I couldn't be more happier with it. But the Virgo side of me says, okay, if I could re-sing that, you know, I could replay that.
Yeah, being harsh on yourself.
But I don't give myself credit enough sometimes. Like, I'll set a goal.
Yeah.
And I'll complete that goal. But I don't take time to celebrate it.
On to the next thing.
On to the next box. Okay, great. I got that box done. On to the next. What we got.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to pull myself back. And I thought, man.
When you look at the list after a while, you're just like, damn, that was a lot. Cool.
Yeah, I was like, get a breath. Look what you've done since May of last year.
Yeah.
You weren't even playing anywhere last year.
Yeah.
You know, look how many gigs you've done. You have just completed your first EP just a little over a year now. Come on now. Give yourself some credit.
It's hard to give yourself some grace sometimes.
Yeah. This is your first one. You're always going to think it can be better. It doesn't matter if it's number 10 EP or album that I do. So, yeah. I'm happy with it.
All right. So, totally like opposite question. Do you have some favorite covers you like to throw into your set to keep people on their toes?
Yes. I love me some Sugarland.
Yeah.
They're one of my favorite groups. I'd love to meet Christian Bush one day. He's a local guy, number 1.
Mm.
I played up at Fox and Hounds last weekend. Take that back. Not last weekend, but weekend before last. And passing the Bush Bean thing reminded me of him. I thought, oh, well, there's Christian Bush. So, you know. But I love me some Sugarland. I play some Alabama on there, some Dixie Delight. That's always good here in Knoxville for anybody. I love me some Boston by Dave Loggins. That's one of my all-time favorite songs right there. I love it. I do some Dolly Jolene. That's a given. I always say you can't play around these parts and not sing some Dolly. It'd be a little sinful.
Yeah, you got to have it in there for sure.
Yeah.
So if it's a well-rounded set list.
Yeah. I play Shenandoah. They're one of my favorite groups growing up. Little 2 Dozen Roses, which is right now Luke Combs is redoing that song with them. So that's putting them back in the spotlight, of course. You know, Travis Tritt, Rodney Atkins. I try to mix it up. Little Brown Eyed Girl. So
you cover your bases.
Yeah, like I said, I'm mainly country, but I know everybody likes a little everything. Not everybody likes country music.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I'll give you some 70s. I'll give you some Can't You See by Marshall Tucker. I'll give you some Johnny Cash, Little Folsom Prison. You know, oh, you want some George Strait? I got you some of the Firemen. That's one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
Too. I love me some 80s George Strait. Chris Stapleton, yeah, I don't do Tennessee whiskey because that song fucking scares me. Because he put an expectation on that song that oh, come on now.
Yeah.
It's like the national anthem after Whitney Houston sung it.
Yeah. You don't want to do that.
Well, look what he done to it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I just try to play a little everything. And I also play what makes me feel good, too.
Well, there you go. It definitely should do that, for sure.
Yeah.
Because you're up there doing it for you, too. It's not just for the people.
Yeah, some people throw requests in, and I'll go, like, I don't know what I'm going on my set list. I'll take it home and look at it. I'm like, man, this don't fit my voice. It doesn't matter what key or where I capo. I can't get it to work.
Yeah.
So there's that. So I just hope people understand that sometimes. Like, sometimes it just don't work with your voice.
Well, do you have any off the top of your head that were just absolutely ridiculous things to be asked of you?
Slayer. And that Hillbilly Drunkard song, that individual, he kept, I'm going to say this individual, I'll not say he. I'm trying not to out that.
Allegedly, this person.
This person. Kept requesting zombie. So there's that.
Well, yeah, it's pretty off the wall.
I know. I'm like, buddy, you must have missed the flyer.
Or the rest of my set.
Thank you. Might have been the way I was dressed. I don't know.
All black? Like, surely not.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, we're coming up on the hour. So if you want to tell folks where to find you on the internets again, where to listen to your EP when it drops, and all that jazz, go ahead and tell them.
Yeah, once again, Piper Paisley. I'm a local singer-songwriter and independent artist here in Knoxville. I got a new EP that it's going to be dropping this month. I'll take that back. It's going to be July. It's going to be the first single. It's going to be July 19th. It's going to be the first single off that EP, which is going to be Hillbilly Drunkard. So you need to check my Facebook out, which is Piper Paisley Music in Facebook. And you can also go to my website, thepiperpaisleymusic.com. Now, I'm going to be on all social medias. That's what I'm working on right now, is the TikToks, the X, Twitter.
There we go.
Right? The platform, the Instagrams. I'm working on all that. But, mainly right now it's going to be Facebook. It's going to be my website. And going to have a lot of good info coming through. So everybody just go check all that out. Follow me on Facebook, because all that good news is going to be dropping. And
then immediate schedules are on Facebook and long-term schedules are on your website. So either of those places are a really good place to find out where you're going to be next week and next month.
Yeah. Tomorrow I'm going to be at Company Distilling. I'll take that back. On Friday, this upcoming Friday, which I know this is going to be aired at a later time. But, Company Distilling is going to be on Friday. And, of course, I want to be booked Saturday and Sunday. But you can always catch me in and around town. I travel a lot to Virginia. Mm-hmm. I just got through from Jamestown on Saturday. So it's pretty cool getting to travel everywhere and meet different people. And, telling people about this new music, of course. So.
And tell you something, some bluegrass stuff off mic here in a second. Everybody, this has been the latest episode of the KAAMP. I'm Thomas. If you want to support the show, you can support the guests of the show, or you can buy the crazy looking art that I make. And if you do either of those things, it's awesome and appreciated. But till then, y'all have a good one, and I'll talk at you later.